Universal Athlete, IFBB Pro Chris Tuttle. I'm here at Montanari's Powerhouse Gym. My favorite gym of all time. This is the gym that I've worked legs at every week for the last 2 years. I haven't worked legs anywhere else. I always drive down here a good 35-40 minutes to train. And today I'm gonna go over what I did to fix my knee. And I'm gonna give you a little background on what I found out. And so basically, a lot of you guys know I hurt my cartilage in my knee, my left knee, under my patella. And because of the injury, I favored my right. Obviously, everybody knows anytime you get injured, you start to kind of favor the opposite opposing side. You exacerbate muscle imbalances. One leg starts to become weaker and weaker. The right leg becomes stronger. Your hips become crooked. It's a disaster. So I looked up some information on some top strength coaches and athletes who train Olympic athletes and talk about knee tracking issues. And because of my cartilage in my knee, what was ended up happening, because the pain was in the left part of my kneecap, so I'd always keep my feet very close together. And I noticed that like I couldn't really get a pump or a good feel on my vas lateralis muscle. Now the vas lateralis muscle, the one that's the sweep, pulls the knee on the left side. The vas medialis, teardrop, on the right side. When they're both balanced together, the knee tracks perfectly fine, okay? When one's dominant over the other, you get knee tracking issues. And sometimes you'll get internal or external rotation. When you squat or you get heavy, the knees might turn in slightly or they might turn out slightly. I'm gonna show you how I do the band, wrap it on the outside of the knee, keep my knee completely straight, shoulder width apart, toes pointing straight ahead. And when I did that for the first few weeks, the last vas lateralis outside of my left side was so weak, by the time I reached reps 6 and 7 and 8, it was like burning so unbelievably bad. And it was funny, the next 2 or 3 days after the leg day, the vas lateralis, the outside of my sweep, my left quad, was much more sore than my right, demonstrating the weakness and the atrophying that occurred from the injury. I just want to clarify once again for all the foreign police and the trollers, love you guys, not really, that I had a muscle imbalance occurring from a knee injury. I use these bands on the outside of my knee to help engage more of my vas lateralis muscle and more of my glutes work to prevent internal rotation. And I also showed in the video, I demonstrated my shoes and how I use flat-soled shoes and a little bit wider sole, so I don't turn in or turn out, supinate or pronate, and it helps my knee stay and track straighter. It's one of the things that I've used for a while that's helped my knees have less aching and pain the next day, because there's less variation in the knee movement. You could also do it barefooted, because a lot of times the soles and the sneakers will slide and flex. When it slides and flex, you may only be moving 5 or 10 millimeters or less, but that's a lot of tracking issue on your knee going back and forth. It can cause wear and tear, especially when you reach muscular failure and heavier sets of squats. So being steady and good form is most important. I mean, the key thing is this. I mean, how many bodybuilders do you know that have sore knees and all these injuries, and powerlifters don't? Because powerlifters use such perfect technique. And that's one thing that people overlook, is technique is everything. And that's how they move slow, careful, fall into a hole and accelerate. A lot of the times the injuries that occur with them is usually the muscle tissue itself, not as much torn cartilages and muscle imbalance as you would see with bodybuilders, because bodybuilders train to failure, they don't pay attention to technique as much. Some people I know are older than me, squatting heavier than me, doing shittier form than me. Well, you know what? That's not my reality. I gotta do what's in my reality. And I encourage all you guys, for you training, stop looking at so many other people and what they're doing, comparing yourself to them. Learn from them, apply it to you specifically, and hopefully you can reach the potential that you have, and not compare yourself to somebody else that could have completely different variables in you. The whole goal is to be the best that you can be and learn from all that. So I just finished my leg workout. This is kind of off the topic, but when I make down in New Haven, I make it a point to see all my clients every time I come down here. So sometimes I'll see them in between my sets, take a quick visual real quick. It only takes a minute, doesn't mess up my focus. So we're here checking out one of my IFBB Pro figure girls. She's going to be competing in Tampa in a week. And I just want to say, it's like, and I'm going to probably get backlash for this, but these coaches who don't respond to text, don't take phone calls, there's a delay in email for a week, is just unacceptable. And that's not a coach. You're selling nutrition plans, you're not being a coach. For example, on vacation, I woke up every morning from 4:30 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. every morning on vacation to answer all my client emails, to make sure nobody misses a beat for their show. And here I am, post-workout, legs before my shake. Take a quick look at my girl Linda. But I mean, for all you people hiring coaches out there, communication's everything. A lot of these coaches are very able, and a lot of them do a great job. And a lot of times what it just comes down to is just paying attention to detail and communicating with the people they need to communicate with. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some clients who are a pain in the ass and who are needy as hell and sometimes aren't worth it. But the bottom line is, you gotta communicate. And there's no excuse for that shit.